In this video, which is part 45 of our Coinmarketcap Chart.js series, we're going to work on the tooltip, and we want to complete the tooltip by, as you can see here, we have these different icons here that we want to work on. And you can see the icons will change the color based on if we're moving up or down on the chart itself. So let's start to look how we can put in these font awesome icons in there and then matching the colors as well. So now let's continue on with our tooltip, and we're going to pinpoint now the icons. So you can see here right now we have the two circles, or basically capitalized letter O, but we want to convert this now into a proper icon, and I'm going to use font awesome for this. So what we're going to do is let's start with it. So first of all, let's add up the font awesome. So I have the font awesome ready, and I'm going to use 4.7. So if you're on CDN, you can select here. By default, it's always at the very bottom at 6.1, but just go and select 4.7. You might say, well, you want to maybe use the latest version. I have tried to use the latest version, but I'm not able to get it working. So I don't know why. I have read that they're using a SGV technology, and the Chartjs is in a canvas technology. Although maybe Chartjs font awesome 4.7 is as well in a SVG technology, but I have no idea about that. However, I couldn't get it working, so I thought, fair enough, we're going to use this latest version here, or at least this version here. This one works fine. So if you get it working, that's fine as well. But anyway, what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to put in here the new font awesome item here. That's this here. And if I save this now, of course nothing happens yet because we need to activate it. I'm going to show you two methods here, and this is really important because basically if, and this is the first method, it's not necessary, but if you would need, for example, the legend, and your legend needs certain text, in that case this is an option. If you don't need the legend with the text, then you can skip that part, but I'm going to show you this anyway, so just in case if you want to apply it elsewhere, and then in the tooltip. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to enter, and I'm going to say here, I'm going to reset the chart, or at least we're going to set default fonts. So I'm going to say chart with capital C dot defaults with an S dot font dot family. Once we have that, we're going to say equal, and then what I'm going to do here is double quotation, and then within here, single quotation, and here we can put in all the default font families that we're going to use. So in this case, I'm going to say a Helvetica. We can put a comma, and then we have another one, a Helvetica Noi. That is, these are the defaults of Chartjs. And then I'm going to say here, another one is Arial, which are all string. And then the last one, which is a default item, that is sans serif. So sans serif will not be in a quotation, because it is not really a string. It's basically a constant or variable that is officially recognized in CSS, while the others are not. So this is the reason why we're doing it like that. So once we did this, we can save that. We still didn't anything, but what we need to do here as well is to assign now the font family for font awesome. So let me show you how we're going to do that. So if we have, well, let's grab this link here. I'm going to show you where you can find that information. Let's copy this, and then what I'm going to do here is not that one. I'm going to open up a tab, put it in here. So you can see here the font awesome information, but this is the one we need. We need the font family code, which is font awesome with capital F, capital A. So this is the one. So we're going to copy that tiny piece of information, and then I'm going to put it in here, and you can put it anywhere you want. I just put it here in front, put a quotation here. So single quotation and font awesome. So once we did this and save this, refresh, nothing happens. But now I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to look for the legend. So let me go to the config, and I'm going to activate the legend just for a minute, and after we'll deactivate that. So we're going to search here for the legend. I'll say here, save. All right, ignore that. Refresh. So we get here the weekly sales. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to search for weekly sales. All right, that's data number 2. I don't want that. I want to have data number 1. There you are. So this is the first one here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in here a font awesome icon. So if I say icon, if I save that, you should see here now adjustments. All right, that's the right place. So now what I'm going to do is I just go here to icons. And what I wanted to grab, at least for the tooltip here, the first one, the price, will be a circle. And that circle or a dot should be green or red eventually. So we're going to assign it later on. So what I want then here, let's search for a circle here. So when I click on a circle, I click on this, and this is the full colored circle. What I need is the Unicode. That's this tiny piece of information here, F111. Copy that Unicode here, because we don't need the classes, we only need this item. So if I put this in here, and then what we need to do, because it's a Unicode, we're going to use backtick, or sorry, not backtick, but backslash. And then it always has 4 values by default, but it must be in total of 6, including the backslash. So we need to say Unicode. A Unicode is the U here. So we have this, and if we save this now, and then we go back here, refresh, you can see here we get this icon. So this is very important. If you don't put in this font awesome here, or you have it incorrect, so let me show you, you will see what will happen. Save, refresh. So basically what happens now is it indicates we have an icon here, or a character, but we are not able to recognize the character. Of course, we are not able to recognize because we right now disabled font awesome. Once we do this back, we undo this, save, refresh. There you are. So this is basically an extra, but of course I don't want to put it in here, but I want to put it in our item there. And I'm going to show you exactly why I'm showing you this. Let me just put it in semicolon. Go down here, and then I'm going to put that same Unicode in the circle where I need to have the tooltip. All right, that's the one I'm looking for. Going down here, looking for this value that's a O. There we are. So what we have here, of course, is again backtick U and then F111. So if I save this now, look what happened. Refresh, then I hover over it. We still get the square. It doesn't recognize. The reason why it doesn't recognize is very simply it doesn't recognize the font family. Why? Look at this tiny line here where we indicated a font family as well. But this font family, of course, is not the one that's being recognized. This is called sans serif, so we're going to say here, font awesome. Save. Refresh. And now we have that one. I'm going to hide this item here. We don't need that anymore. And you can see the tooltip is showing now correctly the circular dot. Alright, so let me just hide the legend. We don't need it anymore. And then I'm going to say here F111. Let's remove this one. And we're going to search it again. That's this one here. Alright, so now we have this one. Then the next one would be maybe the other icon. If I refresh, here we are. We have the icon now showing only. And I realized we have the value, but I see the value. I forgot about that. Apparently I duplicated the code, but without adjusting. The price and the value number of 841 is identical. That should be different because it should be based on whatever the bar here shows. So what I'm going to do here, that's the next one here. That's here down, and I realize that this should be old number, line number 3. The third line here. Alright, this is text, this is value. Then we have here another one, this is not price, this is value. And then we're going to say here, this was not numbers. And this should be, I think it's the volume array. If I save that, let's check, refresh. There we are. So now we get a volume array, which is independent from our price array. As you can see here, 2 different items. We could even remove the fix tool to make it smaller. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want. So I'm just going to put it on, maybe put it on 0. Just make that a flat number. Alright, that looks nice. So we have this. But of course, value, let's put in another icon. So what I'm going to do there, I guess I couldn't find a proper icon for it. So I'm just going to get the bar chart icon. So I'm going to say here, go back, search for a bar icon. Or bar, there we are. Let's grab this. You can see here the Unicode. This is F080. Alright, and then what we're going to do here, we have this one here, backslash, U for Unicode, paste in the code, remember in string value, and then here, adjust this to font awesome. There we are. If we save that, refresh. Oh, not that one, this one I have to refresh. Now we have the bar icon in there as well. Beautiful. So now we have this, and if I look very carefully, you can see the value. And what I don't like is the value and the number 17. The text is so nearby, we should have some space. Same with the $sign above with price. So what I'm going to do is just one tiny item I'm going to fix there is we have here the value, put a space here, so it will be calculated including in our icon space, or sorry, not icon space, but the value text width. That's this one here. It will recalculate with that space here. Same here above with that. Save this, refresh. Look at our icon or a tooltip. Now you can see we have some space between the text. That is beautiful. Alright, so what we want to do now is basically add up the color. And the color is quite simple. It depends on the comparison of this number here. Are we above, or is it above or equal to this, or below? That's it. So let's start to work on this one here. So let's see, this is the dot color, dot space. So we have here a color, and I'm going to make a simple if statement here. This is the fill style equals white. Am I correct? Yes. But I don't want it to be white. I will be making it a different color. So what I'm going to say here, if statement. And then what we're going to grab here is the value. So what is the value we need to get? So we're going to say here, it is a number. So if numbers index 0 is bigger or equal, well, let's say here, if it's smaller. If it's smaller, then it should be things. Well, what we need to do here is, I guess, this is the numbers, that is the first value. So we say if this number, well, we should get whatever the number is in comparison with that. So what I want to do here is whatever would be in here. So what is in here? Well, let's look for it. We can get here the official value here. Let's double check. Where is that? We have the price text. No, that's this one here. The date index. Okay, just going to grab this because basically that's the one we need. We say here, if whatever our current hovering location is would be bigger or equal to the number of our starting point, which is the, in this case, it would be 0.53. In that case, I will say here, let's say here, dot color equal, and I'm going to just say here, we can say let dot color. Just put it in here. Equal to what? Well, we're going to grab the colors that we want. So in this case, I'm going to search for the colors, and I guess they are here somewhere above, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, what is the color item? Gray. I guess it's in the gradient. Gradient. We have these two colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that together. This is the same value, but this one we need. All right. So these are the two values I need. And then I'm going to say here, tooltip plugin. All right, go down here, and then we're going to look at the dot space color. So I'm not sure which one is red or which one is green, but most likely the first one should be red because it's a higher value of RGBA, or the R value for G or for red. So I'm going to assume that one. I'm going to copy that. Say this equals that. All right, this is a string value. And oh, sorry, if it's bigger, it should not be red, it should be green, of course. And then what I'm going to say else is that. So I'm going to say here, cut out this, put it there, and cut this and put it in here. So now we should have this correctly, and then we have here the dot color, assign a dot color in the fill style. Save, refresh. Now if I hover over it, look at that. That is absolutely phenomenal. So now we have this here, and this looks really beautiful, and we're almost done with our item. So what we're going to do next is I want to just solve some tiny issues here. So we're going to look into that in the next video. I'm going to cover that, and maybe we might move the function away. So I'm going to check on that. What would be exactly the next item? Most likely it will be the function that, as we zoom in, you can see here this that needs to be fixed as well. So that will be the next video most likely.